We were talking about Amber's Venus here in conjunction with Chiron. And I haven't really listened to what I said yesterday. But as I said, it's in the second house. And since she doesn't have any particular assigned profession or vocation in this life, but she's able with this healing quality of her love to do healing, but she has also stark opposition in that, like here. And let me put this away. So here she has Saturn, and Saturn, we call him here, Saturn, call him the master of karma, and also in conjunction with Uranus. That is a strange thing because Uranus is so quick. Yeah. So there may be also problems with the law, that she has problems with the law. And so her actions, in order to be able to thrive, have to be extremely just. Here is the part of fortune, and that's the point where we best work off our karma. And that is at the very end of Libra. Here's Libra, yeah? There's Libra. And Libra insofar is very interesting because it is all in the sixth house. You see, the sixth house is very big, goes from here to there. And opposite, it's always opposite, is also very big from here to there. You see that? 12th house, 6th house, 12th house. So the 6th house is equivalent to Virgo. Is Virgo. And there it is to be of service. So she has to know law. And I would advise her to start with what is natural law. And from there on, because when you have this base of what is natural law, which is actually so freaking simple, it's like do to others as you want them to do to you. Very, very simple. But then once you have that laid out so that you really can understand it, I got help from a person called Mark Passio. Mark Passio. But that was lectures he did years ago. Meanwhile, his wife died. I'm afraid she was killed, and he got very bitter. So I don't listen to him anymore. But like 10 years ago or so, he was giving, or a little longer even, fantastic lectures about natural law. That I would advise her to learn about that because the way she's, she must be also very charming. And I was talking about Jupiter being expansive, not expensive, expansive, but also very generous. So I guess she's somebody, she has an, I would say even a great aura, which attracts lovers and haters as well. And with the haters, it's always about jealousy, right? And so she has to be extremely, extremely careful. I'll point this out again here. This the part of Virgin here. It's at the very end of Libra, and Libra is justice, harmony, and beauty. But the justice has to go first. It's the winter house of Venus. And as I said, it's interesting because when two signs is always opposing, are kind of framed by two other sides, I'm talking about houses. Sorry, I'm talking about houses. The sixth house is the house of service, equivalent to uh, Virgo. I'm repeating myself here. And the 12th house is equivalent to Pisces. And there in Pisces, she has her karmic aim. But I'll come to that. First, we have to look at this opposition between Libra and Aries. I'm painting too much here. And so that's how she can deflect a lot of hatred that comes from here. Like law enforcement suddenly, showing up. That is part also of the violence I was talking about. So the opposition between Pluto and her son in conjunction with Jupiter, that makes her like kind of like outstanding. Did you ever heard this? The nail that sticks out gets beaten up first. Something of that nature. She can't be overlooked, I guess. Maybe like when I'm done with this reading, you send me a photo of her. And yeah, so then we have this one point here. This is where we are rebels. And she can express her rebellion very nicely through art. I think even on stage, because it's in Leo. I'm jumping a little bit here because in the end we are coming to Pisces here, because that's her karmic aim here. Here's the karmic aim. And we said that. But the opposition between Libra and Aries, it's always I against you. Yeah, who's more important, me or you? And so this is also in her, like the first house. Aries is like the first house, and then the seventh house. This is like Aries and Libra. Yeah, so she has this built in. Now, where is her salvation? Oh, wow. Her salvation is actually, and she can also, like when she had issues with her mother, when her mother is, she can connect to her mother in a different way, whether her mother is still alive, and especially when her mother has died already. She can get a lot of love from her mother when she is able to forgive what she didn't get from her mother, or what she got wrong from her mother. There must have been something, because the 12th house in Pisces is identical, is the last. And there we give up all our attachment to everything. I mean, everything. And like that's kind of the worst thing that can ever happen to a Taurus. Yeah, Taurus, and people with a strong second house as well, which she has with Venus and Chiron. She knows to keep her bucks together, right? Unless somebody comes and tries to, yeah, and that happens. That happens. Yeah. So, but yeah, the 12th house. Also, I would advise her to do past life regressions. I used to do that in Germany. That's a long time ago. But wherever she lives, maybe she finds somebody who does that for her. Because once we see, like for me, I was this stern, severe feminist, until I understood that, whoa, I was once a man and I wasn't very nice with women then. So then it becomes all more bearable and more understandable to understand, like, whoever she's fighting with is just somebody playing a role of her inner drama. I mean, she's here, but she's also there, you know? She attracts what's there through what's here. Yeah, that's the opposition. And here again, we have this big opposition. Okay, I think I've said everything now, I hope. Let's say she's attractive. Oh yeah, that I may mention Mars once again. I only mentioned him in connection with Venus, makes her physically attractive, but also in the 11th house. The 11th house is equivalent to Aquarius, where the Mars actually is. So there, she has some kind of a intellectual revolutionary drive. I would say Mars's drive. and through that, I think she was often in conflict with her mother. Mother is here, yeah. Mother wants her to be more subtle. Okay. Is that everything now? Well, if it's not, then there can be questions. Okay, I can look at houses that are empty once more. Okay, she don't need to learn anything. She just has to ask herself a question, listen inside, or ask for a dream. She'll get the answer. She don't have to learn this life. She did a lot of learning already. Yeah, she doesn't have to have family, and she doesn't need to study occultism. She does not need to study occultism because it comes naturally to her with this strong Scorpio. Scorpio and 8th house is identical, yeah, and that's where magic is, yeah. So she has this strong placement of Pluto and Moon, so she gets it. She doesn't have to go after it; it comes after her. Yeah, that's about it, really.